This week on Business Q&A, we focus on the Innovator Trust Women in Tech Awards, a platform that celebrates women who are leading South Africa's digital economy. The awards showcase how women-owned SMEs are driving innovation, building capacity, and creating opportunities in the technology sector. Joining me to unpack this year's theme is Tashline Jooste, who is the Chief Executive Officer of the Innovator Trust. Tashline, thank you very much for joining us. Now, the brand has been around for a decade now. Can you please just, educate our audiences for a bit on the focus and the mission of the organization?
So the Innovator Trust was established in 2014 by Vodacom, specifically to support entrepreneurs within the ICT space. And as a result, we would have to look at how we identify the SMEs specifically, and also make sure that we are mentoring, skilling them, providing them with the right resources so that we can scale these businesses. And it's really about growing sustainable SMEs within the ICT sector, as well as SMEs that are ready to scale within the ICT sector.
Take us through some of the key initiatives that set Innovator Trust, apart in the tech ecosystem.
So there's so many initiatives, and as your viewers may know, many SMEs obviously have different journeys that they have to follow, and SMEs find themselves on different journeys. We created programs that actually speak to the SME's journey at any given point in time. And that's because an SME ultimately would require different skills, different resources based on the challenges that they are finding on those journeys. And I do believe that the programs and the initiatives that we've created are 1 year to 3 year programs. So no program ideally is going to work within a month for an SME, especially if you're trying to create a sustainable business for any SME. And our initiatives have been very dynamic in that they ensure that an SME is provided with holistic incubation. That holistic incubation ensures, one, that they have the right resources, that they have the mentorship, that they have the skills, but that they have either the accreditations, or they have the training, or they have the licenses or the technical equipment in order to take their business to the next level.
How has the awards itself, in having to celebrate and acknowledge such powerful women in this space, how has it grown since its inception?
So the Innovator Trust Women in Tech actually started out as little pockets of events. And if you think about it, that used to be 10 women in a pocket and then 20 women in another province. And ultimately, I think the turning point was really during COVID. When we had the lockdown, we ultimately had to sit back and find, what do we do during this time? Women are carrying so many hats, they're doing so many jobs. They have to be the mom at home, they're still cooking, they're still ensuring that the kids are doing classes at home, they're still running their businesses, they still have their jobs. How do we acknowledge women differently? And therefore we created this hybrid approach to women in tech, and that hybrid approach allowed us to have greater impact, greater scale, so we could reach way more women than what we had in these pockets that we had across the province. In terms of 20 women here, we could now speak to 100 women at a time. We could speak to 500 women at a time, and that's how we grew. So that we now have a massive program that we run once a year, where we acknowledge all our entrepreneurs that have been through the Innovator Trust program, and that not only have been through the program maybe for the last 3 months, but have been through the program either for the last year or the last 3 years. And we monitor their trajectory, what trajectory they are on, and we monitor the performance of the entrepreneur and how they have been able to motivate and support other entrepreneurs, but also how they've been able to monitor and how we monitor how they've supported other youth and bringing them along the journey with them.
Tashline, what can be expected from this year's Innovator Trust Women in Tech Awards?
I think it's really important that we do not forget about the youth, and that we have to bring the youth along on this technology journey. Our youth today, they are coding, they are creating, but they're changing the game. And if they're changing the game, we have to make sure that at the Women in Tech event, not only are we giving them the platform, but we're also giving them the opportunity to engage with other like-minded women, but women that they can learn from, whether these be individuals that are C-suite individuals, whether it be government officials, whether it be other fellow entrepreneurs themselves. Many of the youth that we have this year that are participating, we have from the Vodacom Academy youth that are participating, that are attending. We have the YIP Entrepreneurship Program, which is the Innovator Trust Youth Program. We have youth from the University of Johannesburg that will be exhibiting, so 5 of the youth are exhibiting this year. We have youth from the Tshwane University of Technology that are attending this year. And we also have one of the radio broadcasters, one of the graduates of Tshwane University of Technology. He's a graduate and he's actually hosting and broadcasting live from the actual event this year. So it's really integrating and bringing the youth along, because as much as the women in tech, according to our theme, are coding and shaping and scaling their businesses, the youth, on the other hand, are coding, creating and changing the game.
I'm really interested in finding out how you're hoping that this initiative itself and the awards will somehow inspire other sectors to do the same in terms of building and empowering.
So firstly, I do think we have to consider that what we do at the Innovator Trust and what's been so important to us is, in order to create impact, you have to create partnerships with others. And the environment that we live in today requires us to do that, requires us to look at different partners and how we can scale our impact. And I think the same would apply within other sectors, that if we want to speak to more women within our sectors, whether we want to speak to more women in technology, whether we want to digitize our businesses, technology is here. And how do we do that? We can only do that by having impactful conversations, number one, but also amazing dynamic partnerships that can scale that impact.
Well, that was Tashline Jooste, Chief Executive Officer of the Innovator Trust. Stay tuned for more business programming right after this.